loves, welcome back to my channel where we're all about leveling up, elevating, and living our best lives. So I am super excited about this video. I've been waiting for almost like a year to be able to film this particular video. So welcome to my channel. So let's get straight into it. So today's video will cover 5 topics. The first is why I chose to move back to the continent, specifically Uganda. The second will be when I decided to make the big move. The third is what I will be doing while I'm on the continent for this various amount of time. The fourth is who I decided to move with. And the fifth is why specifically Uganda and not somewhere else on the continent. So let's get right into this video. Okay, so let's just start with why I left Canada. To be honest, Canada is one of the best places to live in your life. It's one of the best places to raise a family. It's one of the best places to go to school. It's just a lot of freedom, a lot of choice, a lot of just you being able to be you. However, having been there for so long, we moved to Canada when I was about 2 years old, I believe. So having been there for most of my life, all my life pretty much, I got rather bored. So I finished school a long time ago, and I'm just in a phase right now where I literally was like, what better time to take a chance to live somewhere else than now? I don't have kids, I'm not married, I am a single woman with very many dreams and aspirations, sometimes annoyingly too many, where I was just like, you know what, let me just take the chance. Why friggin' not? Like, now is the time. So ideally I just needed a change of environment. The thing about Canada, which I've kind of told to a few people, but I don't know if they fully get it, people are very comfortable. When you have everything you need given to you, which is a great thing, we'll never complain about that. I think you kind of cap at some point, you know? Like most people I spoke to, most people I went to school with, most people I see, it's like this big dream is to have this big home in the suburbs with a dog, a white picket fence, and 2.5 kids. Literally the American dream. And I'm just kind of like, and then what? You know, like, then what? I feel like a lot of people get midlife crises and all this, crises, and all this stuff just because they just didn't decide to follow their dreams. And I'm like, if you're in a position to be able to and you have the flexibility to, why not take advantage? I mean, Canada will always be there, and I'm so thankful and grateful for that. I'm thankful that I'm a citizen and all that. It'll always be there. I feel like I'm just very scared of comfort, but I'm also scared of change. But I'm less scared of change than I am of comfort. Hence my life and all the randomness of it. I'd rather try for something that's totally out of the blue, totally random, and see if it works than to just do the same mundane, I was about to curse, do the same mundane stuff every day that everyone else does, and it just does, it's not me, it's not my personality, it doesn't suit me. I was just there like, oh my God, this can't be it. There's no way this is it. And even the idea of being like, okay, let me save for like 15 years, or let me wait till like my kids are grown. None of that like sounds appealing to me, like at all. So I was just like, you know what? Let's just make the change. Let's make the move. Why not? Another thing too is the weather here in Kampala is beautiful pretty much all year round. I came at the end of October during rainy season, and I think that's like the worst that it gets. It pretty much rains twice during the day, every day for about an hour and a bit, and then it's fine. I mean, there is flooding and it gets, you know, a little bit much outside, but generally speaking, weather-wise, way better. You're just happier all around, you know? I'm not complaining or miserable because of snow or anything like that, which is totally dope too. So I think that's one of my favorite parts about it, and one of the most intriguing parts also about moving. The last thing I want to mention as to why I left Canada is opportunities. I think when you're, like I said, in your comfort zone and you're really in it for too long, you kind of start to see everything the same and everything else looks appealing. So every time I come to Uganda, I'm like, oh my God, there's so many opportunity to do everything, literally anything. Not even just Uganda, I feel like it's the continent of Africa. It's so rich with so much potential, and not just potential, like active potential. Like I'll meet people doing great things and I'm like, wow. And I'll see people doing the same thing in Canada and I'm like, that's great. But it's just like you kind of have, it's so saturated. The market is very saturated, and I'm like, here you can do so much. The sky's a freaking limit. Honestly, it's a mindset thing. No matter where you are in life, the sky's the limit. You can do so much. But I just love how dope it is in Africa. So when did I decide that I wanted to move to Africa? So I believe my first trip solo trip as an adult to Uganda, it was 2013, I want to say, I believe. Yes, 2013, because I think this is my 6th year of coming back. So every winter since, I've been coming back. So every December, and I think one year I did July and December. So the first year that I came back, I instantly knew I needed to live a bi-continental life. Is that what it means when you're like, not bi-coastal, bi-continental, whatever. Anyway, I knew I wanted to live a bi-continental life. I knew that like one place all the time doesn't cut it for me. I am so all over the place. I love to see everything. I love to do everything. I don't like being tied down. I like being able to go all over to different countries, different places, different cities whenever I feel like it. So one main thing was like, I love Kampala. I love that it's home, even though it was never like a home for me. Just so many things, like from the food to the culture to the language, so many things that were just part of my everyday life, but I never got the exposure of it all at once. So I think that's what really made me fall in love with Kampala specifically, and also the drive from people and the hunger and all that, like I previously mentioned. So what is it that I decided that I wanted to do? So I'm starting a consulting business. I'm not gonna go in depth about that just because it's still in the works, and I just don't wanna, certain things you just keep to yourself, and then when people see the successes and stuff and it starts to really start rolling, then you can share it. So right now I'm not going to talk about that, but that's something that I definitely wanted to do. And ultimately, like, if some of you guys know from previous videos, I used to wear a lot of African accessories in my videos. So those are pieces that I made myself. So for a long time I had a business, about 4 years, a part-time business of making vintage inspired accessories with African fabrics, and I would get females here to sew for me, and then I would sell them in Canada, and I also would make them myself. So it was like a matched effort. Anyways, I kind of got burnt out from that, so it's kind of on pause, but ideally I would love to be like the accessory style queen of the continent. Not even, notice I didn't say Uganda, no, the freaking continent. That literally is my dream. So that literally, those are like my main things. So really just being focused and focusing on style endeavors, getting this YouTube channel really clean content on style and beauty and travel, really making yourself feel the best, centered around everything that makes you feel your best you. That's really what I want this channel to be all about, and everything in my life. I had an aha moment about 1.5 years ago of just being like, oh, this is what I really want. Like, this is really ideally, if all my businesses were together, all the endeavors I want to do, all the ideas that I have in my written down, how do they all make sense together? And that literally was what summed it up. So I actually ended up moving here by myself. My dad is here and he's been a huge help. And obviously I have my grandfather, so my jaja, that's what it is in Uganda, and my aunts and uncles. Thank God for them because they're amazing. I have quite a few friends. No, that's a lie. I have a few friends and I've met a lot of cool people, but I have like actual friends. I have a handful of friends. So I'm really happy here. It's not like I think a lot of people do these big leaps and they end up in places like nobody knows, they don't know them, nobody knows who they are, they don't know anybody. Like, those big leaps are even a lot for me, for someone who's all about adventure. But this one was very comfortable for me. It still was in my comfort zone, but it was still very big, because the first few days that I was here, I literally felt like I hit my stomach. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I feel so overwhelmed. But I think it was just because there was so much to unpack, so much decorating to do in this apartment, so much to just do, that I was like, holy crap, But yeah, I'm pretty much here by myself, but I have a huge support system and a lot of amazing friends, so I'm really happy about that. So why specifically Uganda? Like, I really could have gone anywhere, and I do know that that is always going to be my life. Like, I want to live everywhere. I literally have like a whole manifestation journal of just different places I'm definitely gonna live within my life. It'll just be like for short periods of time. Want to come to LA, that's one place I'm definitely gonna live in at some point in my life. I love Uganda, it is literally my home. I've claimed it, I'm just waiting for the country to claim me. But yeah, also what I do love about Africa, what I also specifically love about Uganda too, maybe Uganda isn't the best for this, but I do love Africa and East Africa too, is that you can travel other places in the world for way cheaper than leaving Canada. It's really crazy. Like, you can't even travel within Canada for cheap. Like, what you travel for within Canada is what people are paying to leave here to go to Dubai. Like, to me, that's insane. So I'm like, I can easy access to Europe, I have easy access to Asia if I want to go there, I have easy access to the rest of Africa. Airline situation here, not the greatest, but there's so many other airlines that are actively going to often, that there's deals, there's cheaper options. It's just so dope. Besides North and South America, everything else is so quick, easy access. I'm like, bruh, this is ideal. This is like nice central. Like, I like it. I like convenience. So those are all my 5 points as to literally why I'm here, why I made such a big life change, and also introduction into this series called Moving to Africa. I'm using the word Africa because who knows where else I want to live soon, you know what I mean? But right now I'm in Uganda. But nonetheless, I'm going to touch on also things like finances, things that you need to consider that you can't do while on the continent that you have the luxury to do there, and vice versa. Things that you can do here that you can't necessarily do when you're living in North America. Did I mention finances? That's a huge one. I think a lot of reasons why people don't pursue their dreams is that they're so scared of the financials when maybe it's even cheaper for you. Ooh, you know what I mean? So also that what my job situation is looking like, how do I keep my lifestyle afloat? That's a huge thing, and I know a lot of people want to ask those types of questions but feel kind of like it might be rude to ask, so that's a big thing that we'll be talking about. So every Sunday from now on, there will be a new feature for this particular series, Moving to Africa. So please do subscribe. Please do subscribe, because you're going to get so much quality content and in various other areas on how to level up, elevate, and live your absolute best life. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave any questions or comments or anything you have in the down below, because I'd love to see some ideas of what you guys want to see in the future for this series. And also please do check out my other videos, and I'll see you guys next time.